Welcome to Norfolk Perspective City Slice. I'm Bob Batcher, and about 2 years ago, we had a thing called the Tide come into town, and we had Dr. Tony Atwater come into town, and I'm not sure which one had the biggest impact. I'm going to leave that up to Dr. Atwater. Welcome to the Norfolk Perspective Sofa.
Well, it's great to be back with you, Bob.
2 years. So, you still having fun?
I'm still having fun at Norfolk State University, Spartan country.
I know it. In fact, as I recall, when we opened up the Tide about 2 years ago, and you were starting, you threw one heck of a good party, which included the band, which included the football team, and you made all of us feel like VIPs.
Well, we're glad to be a part of that important step, for development, in the Norfolk region. Of course, the Tide with HRT's leadership is a significant addition and a significant investment, I think, in the growth of the region.
Well, in fact, one of the first things you said when we approached you about working that weekend was that you were going to be an open university and really get engaged.
Yes.
You meant it, didn't you?
Absolutely. We subscribe to the notion of being a steward of place. We are in Norfolk, and we want to provide stewardship and be a resource for the region, and we're trying to do that on many fronts.
And I've got to be honest, because prior to those days, I kind of knew Norfolk State from the 264, and I always admired the Tower of Banners by the stadium. And then Virginia Beach Boulevard, you kind of saw tweaks. It's an awesome campus.
Well, we're pleased, at the progress we're making on the Capitol front. We've got buildings going up. We're completed the first phase of construction for our new nursing and allied health building. It's a building of 140,000 square foot, state-of-the-art nursing and allied health facility, and it will be built in August of 2014. And our students and faculty, in that program will be very excited to have a brand new facility. We also are planning to rebuild actually the oldest instructional building at Norfolk State, Brown Hall, and we received funding in this past legislative session to the tune of $52 million to rebuild Brown Hall.
Wow, cool. Okay, well, let me talk about that, though, because you hear, or I read in the paper, they'll bemoaning the fact that the economy is bad and woe is us, but I'm not hearing that from you guys.
Well, a lot of it has to do with, the great people that I work with at the university, outstanding faculty, great staff and administrators, and fantastic students that believe in the university and believe in its future.
Well, let's talk about the future. What do you see as the future over the next, 10 years?
I see a transformed physical plant, and I don't use the term transformation easily, but I do believe that the physical plant will be transformed. When many come onto the campus, they will probably not recognize it, 5-10 years down the road, and it'll be a great positive transformation, in terms of our instructional facilities. I see more graduate degree programs. I believe we'll be strengthening our graduate degree program offerings, more offerings in distance learning, much more engagement with the community and the region. Major initiatives going on in partnership with a number, of agencies and groups to become more of a resource to Norfolk and Hampton Roads.
Let me throw an acronym at you then, called MEAC.
Yes.
So what's that mean to you when I say MEAC?
MEAC, Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. That's our conference, in Division I, NCAA athletics, and we just recently achieved for the 8th consecutive year the most outstanding athletic program in MEAC Division I athletics. To me, that's pretty incredible. To do it 8 times in a row is extraordinary, and this means that on all of the athletics, track, basketball, football, Norfolk State for 8 consecutive years has been recognized as a top athletic power in the Mid-East Athletic Conference of NCAA Division I athletics.
Now that brings about national pride and alumni pride.
Yes.
Let me kind of challenge you here, though. As the president of an academic, how do you balance that?
Well, I think that strong universities invest, in athletics as a way of engaging alumni and friends of the university. I think some of the best universities in the country do that. When you think of some of the most well-known universities in the country, they have strong academics, but they also use athletics as a great way of welcoming friends and supporters and alumni in. Some people have referred to athletics as being the front porch of a university in terms of engaging alumni and also friends of the university, and that's what we do. So when you think of universities like, say for example, University of Michigan, Michigan State, where I got my doctorate, those are great examples of institutions that have great athletic programs, but also have very strong academic programs as well. And we like that mix, you know, at Norfolk State.
Now, how do you value how do you measure then your academic programs? Is it based on number of students enrolled?
Well, you
published
know, the untold
documents, or
story
what?
about Norfolk State University is that all of our academic degree programs are nationally accredited. I've worked at other universities, but I don't think neither of them that I've worked at, neither of the 6 before, have had all of their academic programs nationally accredited. I think that says something for the university, because what that means is that our social work program is nationally accredited. Our programs relating to business nationally accredited. As a matter of fact, our business program, our School of Business, was nationally accredited by AASB, nationally accredited with flying colors.
Wow.
AACSB is the nationally accrediting agency for business schools. Of course, some of that is changing. I think there's a new accrediting body that's coming into view. But currently that's the national accrediting body for business, and they accredit our business school in flying colors. Beyond that, we are nationally accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, otherwise known as SACS, which demonstrates that our academic strength, is definitely there, and there are other institutions that would quite frankly like to be where we're at.
I made a comment to one of your senior staff one time when I was on campus that how impressed I was trying to take some shortcuts, and we were sneaking through some of the academic buildings. Got lost anyway. One of the things that really amazed me were a lot of the students who were very dressed for success. I mean, in suits and the whole bit. She said, oh, they're part of the business program, and a lot of them are working and going to school. So a lot of your students, I mean, they're already involved and engaged in the community already.
Yes. Well, we encourage stewardship. We encourage civic engagement and citizenship among our students. And a lot of our students are drinking deeply of those waters, and I'm very, very happy that they are. Because once they get out, we want them to be not only good professionals, but strong supporters of their community and strong citizens. And so I'm really pleased with that. We have programs that nurture that. We're just building a new student success center, to help our students not only be strong academically, but also develop their life skills and help them to be able to have academic success, but also take their place, as citizens.
I guess, I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but when I'm not in this chair, I'm also working with the city's Neighbors Building Neighborhood philosophy and trying to encourage citizen engagement. And when we look at some new initiatives and new programs, Norfolk State's name keeps popping up more and more. Is that success in your book?
Well, we work hard at it. I work on a number of boards, and I do those boards to not only engage my expertise, but to quite frankly help others understand that Norfolk State University, is a university that wants to be engaged and has some real strong social capital and human capital to bring to the table to advance Norfolk and the Hampton Roads region. So I feel blessed in that regard, but I think a lot of our faculty and staff and students, are also serving the university very well in that regard.
I gotta have this. I want to go personal for a few moments because I know I have 24 hours in my day. How many hours do you have in your day?
Well, the regimen of a university president is usually pretty demanding. I would say on average probably about 14, 15-hour days.
What's your average day like?
It usually starts off as far as getting the day underway, usually at 6 in the morning, and usually does not end until usually something like 8, in the evening. And so it's jam-packed, with board meetings, with meetings relating to my senior staff, faculty meetings with students, a pretty strong mix of events, all for the good, I might add. A lot of planning, a lot of fundraising. Fundraising is a very big part of this job, and so being able to involve myself with a lot, of different constituent groups and a lot of influential leaders makes it an exciting opportunity. It's not for everybody, I would say that, but for me, I enjoy it, and I know why I do it, and why I do it is to support a great university called Norfolk State University.
Now, your commute's not very long, so you could find yourself within the confines of the university and that's your reality. But I'm going to ask you to stretch out. Okay, it's been 2 years you've lived in the city of Norfolk. What's your opinion?
I love Norfolk. You know, I think Norfolk has a great deal going for it, and one thing I can say is I believe that living in this region, you know, has really been quite a pleasure for myself and my wife, Dr. Beverly Roberts Atwater, who happens to be a physician at EVMS. But I think we both have enjoyed learning about the culture and the amenities and the great strengths and values and virtues, you know, of Norfolk. I believe in some cases Norfolk is unheralded, or not under promoted and not so well. Perhaps it could be better served in terms of promotion. Mm-hmm. Maybe somebody should hire me as the PR guy for Norfolk. You know, that's not a solicitation.
That might be a tougher job than you think, but you know what? I think we'll take you up on that.
But Norfolk has so many things that I don't believe are as well promoted as they need to be. You know, our strong military community. Mm-hmm. And what we do there, you know, the diverse mix of industries, what we bring to the table in terms of our ports, so many things to offer, and so many things that we do that I think sometimes are underutilized, underappreciated, you know, in terms of what we bring to the table.
Well, guess what you just did? You just got volunteered for another advisory crew. So we're going to sit down and talk a lot more about catching on to your vision about where we can be and where we can go. I want to thank you for the last 2 years and really look forward to, I don't know, the next 15, 20?
Well, hey, we'll see where it takes us, Bob. But
okay.
Let me just say that I so much appreciate your time, you know, and an opportunity to talk about my university, Norfolk State University. We're doing great things, and the people out there, they know what it means. Behold the green and gold.
There we go. Thanks a lot, and I'm not going to ask you how many games you're going to win next season, but we'll deal with that later.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.